8. What are your lasting impressions of touring with Jerry Garcia? Well, this is a good part because I can tell you about uh, Jerry as one person, Jerry and Con together as another person, um, working with Rock Scully and having a stand up guy like that around us. It was all just the way it should be musically, as far as I'm concerned. Um, Touring, working with Jerry, and knowing him outside the gig. I mean, he was going through some troubled times when I was in the band. I'd go over and visit with him and John at a house they had in San Rafael, and there was some financial problems and other stuff going on. Jerry was always kind and generous, and no matter what, he split things with people. If you went to a gig, it was his name up on the board, Jerry Garcia Band, not the Ozzy Allers Band, not the John Conn Band. But we'd walk away from that gig, and we'd split it 4 ways. And I will tell you something. I don't know how to say this without... Uh, he was so generous that in his will, he left strict... I don't know how to say it, a strict testament that he wanted the money split equally with each band member. So if any projects came out under the JGB name, he would split the proceeds with everyone. And so he, even in his death, he was able to keep that intact, and his family honored it. That's the kind of guy Jerry is. The other side of it is he's a sci-fi nut. He and I had plenty to talk about on the tours. We both loved science fiction. We both really liked Frank Herbert, and especially the Isaac Asimov series and a lot of the short stories and Vonnegut and stuff like that. And he wasn't impressed that I'd played with Van, or that I'd my musical endeavors worked in the South with Spooner Oldham and people like that who he really liked. Jerry was an R&B fan. He loved knowing that I worked with the people in Memphis. But what Jerry was most impressed with was that I had met Isaac Asimov, and that was really a big time to him. I told him in passing that I knew a gal in Woodstock. We were friends. Her name was Tandy Sturgeon, and her father was Theodore Sturgeon, the great science fiction writer. And I was invited over to the house for lunch to, I met her dad. He was a very interesting guy, but he had a friend visiting there at the same lunch, and his name was Isaac Asimov. And I actually got a chance to sit and talk and have lunch with one of my idols in the science fiction world. And I think probably everybody's idol. He was sort of the grandfather of science fiction. If it wasn't Jules Verne, it was Isaac Asimov. So Jerry asked me over and over again. He would say, "So, what did he say? What did he eat? I mean, when did he eat salad?" He would ask me questions like that with those squinty eyes of his. He'd every once in a while he'd go, "Man, I still can't believe you met Asimov," and he would just say it in that funny way of Jerry's. Only Jerry had that sense of humor. He and Con were almost like the humor twins. They had things that they would love to say to each other, and it always rubbed off on the whole tour and made it kind of a joyous time. So lasting impressions of Jerry: kind, generous, really experimental, really creative, and an enormous sci-fi buff.